the Australians, we've had players come in and out, a few guys returning from injury, so their form, they're probably not at their best, a lot of the Australians, but it was a good win last game. It'll give them some confidence. I think from here on in, I think the Australians, I expect them to win this series now that they've got a bit of confidence up.
Yeah, and the fortunate thing for the Australian team were that Michael Clarke and Andrew Symonds both came back into form, Andrew Symonds in particular, but just a good mature performance by the Australian batsmen, nullifying the spin that had caused so much trouble in those middle overs.
Now, the big development since Game 2 has been the reporting of Saeed Ajmal, the off-spinner, for a suspect action, particularly his doosra. Your reaction to that, Junior?
Well, initially I thought his action was okay, watching him bowl, but I suppose any time an off-spinner bowls a doosra, it is quite difficult to bowl the ball. You've got to have a very flexible wrist or a very flexible elbow, one of the two. So, I mean, he's been reported. I actually think he'll be okay, but, there's a little bit of suspicion there, but, I don't think he's as bad as someone like Murali. Now, you can see that real flick of the wrist there. I think that's mainly where the ball comes from, but it'd be interesting to see what happens there. Just wonder whether he's going to bowl that doosra in this game.
Well, yeah, I think Murali, from memory, was told that he wasn't allowed to bowl the doosra at one stage, and we've seen a lot of the spin bowlers from the subcontinent develop this doosra, and I guess for Australians, we don't have any spin bowlers that bowl it, so I don't know what it is, but every time Australia comes across it, there seems to be an issue.
Well, both, in both for South Africa, he's been under suspicion as well. So, look, I think he'll be okay. I really do. I think, it's an unusual action, but he can seem to get away with that. Not a problem.
We saw in those pictures that Shane Watson, that was in Game 1, really gave it to him at one stage. Now, the controversy on top of the controversy is that the Pakistan side believes that Shane Watson has tipped him in to the umpires. Now, they're going to see it anyway and they have to act on it, but are you surprised that that little byplay is happening?
Well, it's irrelevant what the player said. That doesn't matter. Like, who cares what the player says? It's really up to the officials and the match referee and the umpires. The players can say he chucks it as long as they like, but that won't make 1 ounce of difference. So you can't blame Shane Watson, but I was a little bit surprised that he did sort of, give him a bit of stick about it. That's sort of not really done, is it?
No, not really. The other thing too, we did comment the other night that there was a lot of smiling going on. It was one of the more friendly one-day internationals I've ever seen, and I just wonder how friendly it's going to be tonight.
Yeah, good point. Well, the process now is that that Ajmal, the PCB and the ICC all get video footage delivered to them, and he has 21 days to be tested by an ICC accredited biomechanist. Jeff Lawson, I spoke to him today. He's saying that in 2007 when he was there, he spotted him, he was playing domestic cricket at that stage, he spotted him in a future sort of outstanding future players camp. He had suspicions about the action then, had it tested, and it's at 13 degrees. So he said significantly, it bends, but that's right, it's still legal. So it's obviously been top of mind for Pakistan cricket for a while now that they'd test him, but significantly he was legal.
Well, I think nearly every off-spinner that plays for Pakistan, they've all got the same action. Saklaim Mushtaq sort of started it, and it's just a long list of players. It's how they sort of bowl their off-spinners, and as you say, it's 13 degrees, so if that's the case, then he'll be cleared with 2 degrees up his sleeve.
Would you be rolling the dice and bowling the doosra?
Well, I think it's a wicket-taking ball, and it's variation that has proved so successful for him, and I'd be very surprised if he doesn't. We don't see many arm balls these days, and that was the off-spinner's variation used to be. That's what you used to bowl, didn't it?
They're all arm balls. But yeah, look, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to be played out, whether he's been told by the match referee that if you bowl a doosra, which is the ball that you do have your problems with, you're going to be no ball. I don't know whether that's been said or not.
Could be